What's happening, everybody? Happy Tuesday, July. It's the month of July. We've reached the second half of the year. Is it hard to believe? Gosh, I remember like yesterday that we were celebrating New Year's, and here we are. We're at the halfway point of the year. I hope everyone is doing amazing. As we're watching tonight, do me a favor, drop a comment right now. Tell me where you're joining in from tonight. And let's have a fun time tonight talking about some different things. I'm here to answer your questions. I've got some topics and ideas and things to talk about, but I would much, much rather discuss your questions, things that have been burning in your mind of things you wanted to know about here in the Myrtle Beach area, and help you answer any questions about making a potential move to the area possibly. So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We've got a couple things to talk about that I've kind of pre-planned out. But like I said, and as always, when we're watching the show and doing these lives, I'm here to answer whatever questions you might have about Myrtle Beach as well. So let's get started. I see some people are starting to come into the chat room. Start putting your questions in. If you have questions about moving here, things you want to know about the area, put those in, and I will do my best to answer them throughout the night. We've already got someone responding. Jason's watching from Asheville. Welcome in, Jason. Man, I enjoy the Asheville area up there by the Biltmore. My wife and I, it's about a year to the date, almost exactly, that we took a trip up to the Biltmore. Beautiful, beautiful area. But it was so funny having to climb up all of the hills to get into Asheville. Here at the beach, we're pretty much flat. In fact, if I didn't already shut my phone on, I would look and see. But my guess is that the elevation here at my office today is probably 40 feet above sea level. As we were going up into the mountains, heading towards Asheville, it was like 1,800 feet. Our ears kept popping and everything along the way. But like I said, as you're joining in tonight, do me a favor, leave a comment, tell me where you're watching from, and let's talk about some fun things tonight. So I'm going to take this screen and I'm going to move it over here, and then we're going to show this other screen. 4th of July is coming up here at the beach in just 2 days. If you are here in the Myrtle Beach area watching tonight and are trying to figure out some activities to do for the holiday, I figured it would be a good idea to share some of those things with you. So let me just get my screen loaded up here and then share this. All right, so here we go. And we're going to hide that so that I jumped up. All right, so first thing, 4th of July fireworks. People want to know, where can we see fireworks here in the Myrtle Beach area during the 4th of July? And so here is a list of shows here along the beach for you over the next several days. And so you can see tonight there will be fireworks. If you're here in town right now, 10 p.m., Broadway at the beach, there will be a fireworks show this evening. I have been to that one many times. They do one every Tuesday during the summer. So you can go watch a good fireworks show right there. Then tomorrow night, after the Pelicans game across the street from Broadway, there will be another fireworks show there at the baseball game. So go check out a baseball game, enjoy some fireworks at Pelicans ballpark, or I don't remember, Ticket Return Field it was called at one point, BB&T Field. It's been called a bunch of things over the years. But at the Pelicans game, you can see some as well. Then on Thursday, the big day, 4th of July, there are several spots that you can catch fireworks throughout the entire Grand Strand. There are going to be some that you can see. Let's do this. Let me turn me off here, and then we can make this maybe a little bit bigger here for y'all, so you can read this a little bit. There you go. Maybe it's a little bit easier to read now. And then we blew it up. So here we go with 4th of July. You have a couple different spots. You can go down to the ocean and sit by the Second Avenue Pier in downtown Myrtle Beach. There will be a show there at 9 p.m. At 9:30, there will be some up in the northern end of the beach at Cherry Grove Pier. At 10 p.m., you can catch some in Myrtle Beach at Broadway, or you can go down to Murrells Inlet and see some at the Marsh Walk, or at 10 p.m. also up at Barefoot Landing. So those are several different spots that you can check out some fireworks here in the area. Now, some other fun events that are going to be going on down in Surfside, there is going to be a golf cart parade. Yes, a golf cart parade. You can get your golf cart decorated all up and be part of the parade. Down in Merrill's Inlet on the 4th, starting at 5:30 p.m., there is a boat parade. It is the 41st one. They've done this for a while, and it launches from the Garden City Point and then heads to the Marsh Walk and continues to follow the shoreline south. Fireworks will follow the event at 10 p.m. down in Merrill's Inlet. And then this next one, Salute to the Shore, says it starts at 1 p.m. I actually have another graphic. Let me jump over here a minute and show you this. This is kind of a very, very cool event that will be taking place here along the beach. And these are flights. They're going to have some airplanes that fly right along the coastline. And as you can see, they're going from the northern end of the beach down through the southern end. And so they're going to have at 1 p.m. some F-16s. And then at 1:10 in Cherry Grove, there will be the Warbird flight, which has a T-34, a T-6, and T-28, plus a few other varieties, weather permitting. I don't know what the different kinds are. I'm not an airplane expert, but it is a very, very cool thing to see all of these jets and airplanes that were used in battle and combat at some point fly along. And as you can see, they just kind of go by their time down through the beach, where it just changes a little bit as it goes down the shore. Now, the one thing I would say with this is if you're planning on going to enjoy this festivity of the salute from the shore, make sure you're down there a little bit early, because sometimes it's a little bit early. And also, you want to be down there early enough to get yourself a good spot. A lot of people will be along the beach during that time, checking it out and paying attention to it. So you definitely want to check out the salute from the shore. Some other things that are going on here in the area is that there will be on the 4th of July, some big stuff going on down in Surfside at the Memorial Park down there. And as they say, all this stuff is obviously weather permitting, obviously, but from what I have seen, and I should probably pull that up. Let's go ahead and do that too for anybody who might be saying, hey, I'm coming to the beach for the holiday. What's the weather look like? Well, let's pull it up here quick and go back over here to this. As you can see, if we go in here and click on the 10-day forecast, got to get rid of the ad. Sorry, I recently bought a guitar, so it's making you show it. But here for the 4th of July, it is showing it's going to be a nice 86 degrees. Well, if it cooperates, 86 degrees with a 7% chance of rain. So we're not going to really see much rain. Low possibility. Maybe you'll see that little afternoon sprinkle that comes in, but low humidity is going to be going on as well. And sunset will be at 8:29 p.m. So if you're thinking about coming down to the beach, definitely you're going to have a great time here at the beach. Let's see. Somebody else says they're coming in from San Diego tonight. Well, welcome in, Mr. Laugerig. Mister, I'm just going to call you Mister. That's easier. Welcome into the show. So tonight, what I want to talk about is is it still a possibility to find an affordable home here in the area? Is it possible to get any deals or get any savings on a home these days here in Myrtle Beach? Or has the market just gone completely berserk to where we can't afford anything anymore? And, you know, I get asked a lot of times this question. Oh, Mr. Lou Gehrig. Okay. Oh, duh. That makes sense. Okay. Sorry. I got you. I got you. And I even wrote a biography on him. I wrote a report on him after reading his biography when I was in high school. No, actually, no, it was in elementary school. I had to write a report on a famous celebrity, and I picked Lou Gehrig and wrote it on it. You'd think I would have got that one. Sorry. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So, real estate is it affordable? Can we find houses these days that are going to be a decent deal? And the one thing that I've had a lot of lately is a lot of people who've been asking about new construction, new builds, and how does that kind of work? So, I thought what would be best is to show you kind of how it works with some of the different builders, how some of this stuff goes on. We got somebody else coming in. Chelsea's watching in from Portage, Michigan. Welcome into the show tonight. Hope you're doing well. And so I get asked, what about new construction? Can I buy a new build and get a good deal these days? And the answer is yes, no, maybe, kinda. I know that's kind of really stupid, but really, let me explain. Depending on which builder you're going with is going to determine what kind of deals you're going to get. For example, some of the builders, if you go to one where you're going to be able to pick everything for your home, then the price is going to be the price, and there's not really going to be any incentives. I have some clients right now that are buying a home here. They're building it up in the northern end of the beach. And we met this week with the builder. We specced out all the different structural things that they wanted to put into the home. And the price that they got was the price. There was no deals, there was no negotiating, there was no nothing. But they're allowed to then pick the colors of their flooring, which for them was a really big deal. They wanted to be able to pick the color. They were some of the spec home builders, they just didn't like the color of the flooring, and there was one they saw they really wanted, and so that's why they were willing to pay more to get this house. They also wanted to be able to go in and say, okay, well, in the living room, we want to add the tray ceiling, which gives it another 1.5 feet of height in the ceiling in that area. We wanted to put the coffered ceiling into the dining room area. We wanted to add the 3-car garage. We wanted to bump out the back porch to make it twice the size. A lot of different customizations and things that they wanted to do to the home. So in order to do that, they have to pay builder price, and there is no discounts. There is no ways to get a deal type of thing in those situations. Now, in comparison, there are other builders right now that are out there that will say, hey, we're building the houses, and they do it kind of more as a spec home. And as they're doing these, they're building 4 of the same house. Okay. And so, say they have one that's ready to close the end of July, then the next one's ready to close in August, and the other 2 are ready in September. So, the house right now that's going to be the deal or have the discount is going to be the one ready to close this month. Why? Because they want to get that one moved off the books. They don't want to have to pay for the electric and the water and the sewer and the gas and the insurance and all of those things to carry the house for an extended period of time. So on that home, which is the exact same as the other 3 being built, it might be $15,000-$20,000 less right now to purchase that one. Now, once they get that home sold, then they will say, okay, well, now let's look at the one that's supposed to close in August, and let's start reducing that one. And that one becomes the next deal. Okay. So that's how some builders are doing. We're just kind of getting a little bit of discount, but it's only on specific select few. Okay. Then you have the third option, which there's a builder right now in town. I just showed some homes today with someone. And on that, the asking price, let's say the asking price is $320,000. Okay. We're going to be able to probably negotiate on that house from 320 down to maybe 310, 312, probably 315. So we'll say 310 to 315. So probably five to $6,000 off of the asking price. In addition, they are putting in an incentive where they have bought down the interest rate on the loan. So instead of having to pay what today's rates are probably, around 7.5%, somewhere around that range, they're going to buy it down to 5.99%. In addition, they're also going to give that buyer $10,000 for using their lender towards closing costs. So that $10,000 is more than going to cover all of their fees for a loan and probably have a little bit left over to buy down the rate even a little bit more. So they're putting all kinds of incentives in. So is that a pretty good deal? I would say so. If I'm able to buy that house at $320,000 and I'm able to get it at a lower interest rate, which might save me $80 to $100 a month in a mortgage payment, $100 a month. If we do the math, let's just say we'll say it's $95. So let's say it's $95 times 360 payments. That's $34,000 different in the monthly payment. That's a big deal over the life of that loan. That's saving you a good amount of money. So you can see where you're starting to get the savings. And then you're getting 10,000 towards your closing costs. You're getting all kinds of upgrades a lot of times, a lot of different incentives with them. So there's a lot of times in these houses where you can find some pretty good deals. Let's see here. Some other people jumping in. Salt and Pepper says, hello. Hello. Where are you watching in from tonight? Tell us. Carol's watching in from Long Island. Let me say it right. Long Island. Is that right? You got to get the G kind of on the I, if I remember. Long Island, New York. And then Salt and Pepper says, we are watching from Central Virginia, but our condo is in Windy Hill at this present time. Nice. So are you down here at the beach for the holiday? If so, check out some of those events that we were talking about and have some fun doing those things for sure. With it, yeah. So there's some new construction deals that are out there right now. The big benefit when you're buying a new build is that you're going to see your insurance costs go down. You're going to, just because you have a new roof, it's going to take your insurance price from maybe $1,500, $1,800 down to $1,200 or $1,300. It's going to save you a couple $100 a year there. So you're able to save money on that. You're also getting something where all of your appliances are brand new. Your HVAC is brand new. So you're not going to have to worry about doing any maintenance to those things and having those major expenses for a couple years because they're all going to have some sort of warranty in place. You're going to have, everything fresh, everything a clean slate to go. So you can really do a decent job buying a new construction right now. Now, what about if you were buying a resale? Can we find a deal there? Well, before we get into answering that question, we should probably first take a look at how is the housing inventory doing here in the area. And to do that, I want to go back over here and share this and go over to our market stats. And so here are current stats from our MLS at this time for the month of July. Okay, it probably will be, yep, they already have updated for June in here. Great. So if we take a look at this, and the one thing people are asking me all the time is, well, Jeremy, with more inventory coming on, the market, does that mean that prices are getting better? Are the prices dropping? Are we seeing deals yet? Well, if we take a look here at your average price and just look at it, here it was in January at 330. We had a little bit of a drop down to 323, but it has worked its way back up to 330, then down to 328, and now we're up to 332. So we're at, as you look here, going back through the entire graph, back several years, we are at our most expensive price point right now. So Are prices going down? No, they're really not. Now, the inventory, yes, we're starting to see a decent amount of it. But take a look. Interest rates, when they drop just a slight hair, it drops a significant amount. So we were at 4.5 months inventory in May, and we're now down to 4.3 months from 4.6. So we've dropped basically, you know, a good chunk already. And my guess is that as we go through the summer, if we see interest rates doing what hopefully they're hoping they're going to do, we're going to see that inventory number drop down a ton. Now, when that happens and this inventory keeps going down here, you're going to see then prices go up almost exponentially. Okay. So, what kind of questions do you all have for me tonight? I see there's a bunch of people on the stream watching, joining in tonight. What questions do y'all have about purchasing a home in the area, moving to the area, things to do, whatever it may be? Feel free to put them in the chat room, in the comment section now, and we'll do our best to answer them as we go through the night. But as we look at these graphics here, things are going in the right direction for sellers again. Unfortunately, if we look at, again, going back here to the sales price, you can see it's up to 332. If we look at the new number of new listings, you can see new listings. We've not had a lot of new inventory come since April. It's kind of put a pause there and went, hold on, let's just wait, and going down. Why is that? People don't want to sell. They want to stay put. If they got great rates, they're not doing it. But you have to take into consideration, if you're looking to move to the area, there's going to be some great options for you out there right now. Let's take a look at some other stuff here. So, current homes for sale. You can see we kind of peaked out at 6,300 homes, and we're now down under 6,000 again. Last time we were there was in March. Looks good. Now, if we look at the closed sales, you can see not as many closed sales because we're just not doing as much business at the moment. Days on the market, well, you can see that's starting to go back down again. We're down to 92 days on the market. So what does that mean for somebody thinking about selling the home? It's not going to be super quick always, but it's okay. The other thing you have to take into consideration with this list is that new home developments put all of their properties on the market basically the minute that they go under contract. So if I go over here to our MLS a moment, and let me hide me so that you can see the whole thing as we're doing this. If we go in here and let's just do a search a minute, and I'm going to pull up one of the developments in the area. It's one of the larger ones that D.R. Horton's building right now, called Heather Glen. Okay. Heather Glen is up on the northern end of the beach. There are 62 just active. Okay. But if we put in where all the pendings come in with it, we have 134 homes. There is a ton of inventory that is pending. Look at all these that are pending in here. Okay. So why are these pending? Well, mainly the houses aren't done yet. But these homes go into the market when they're in the framing stage. Okay. So if we go in here and look at this home's probably been in here. Yeah, see, it's been in here since February. Okay. So this home is pending on lot 1904, but it's been in the system since it started framing back, and it takes 100 to 120 days to build a home. Okay. With DR Horton, at least the way they do it. So when you see this, it makes your numbers go kind of crazy for days on market. Okay. And the same is true if I go and pull up any new builders development. If I put in here Bridgewater, which BRIDGE, Bridgewater Cottages, this is Chesapeake Homes, another big builder in the area. And you can see There's 46 total, 22 are actual active, and then the other 20 something are pending, right? But these homes, a lot of them that are in here that are pending, like I'll just click on this one. This one's been on the market since February. Once again, they put it in February 29th, and it's just sitting here until it's finished, right? So it's going to be a while till this home gets done. It takes them 6 to 7 months to build a house. So that's going to make your days on the market go long. Okay. Let's go over here and see. I think I saw a question come in. I did. Are oceanfront condos holding their value? Good question. Let's go back here to the market stats and I'm going to adjust this over. Excuse me. And let's go back here. So here is current sales price for the condominium market. Okay. As you can see, it's kind of similar to the residential where it's doing this up, down thing. And this is now all condominiums. Everything from the 400 square foot, $60,000 efficiency to the multi-million dollar 7-bedroom oceanfront type thing. Okay. Um, as you can see, though, they are kind of following along that same type of pathway as some of the others. In this system, it doesn't really give us an easy way to show off oceanfront here. But what I can do is if we go and we look at a condominium complex, and let's just go in here. We're going to say condos. We're going to say active. Show all the active. And let's go in here and we will put in Dean's Village. So this is one down on 52nd Avenue. You can see right now there are 3 condos that are for sale. That's it. Okay. Not a lot of them. And 2 of the 3 are under contract. Okay. So things are selling pretty quick. If I go in though and look at the sold over the last few months, let's come down here. Let's grab this and go back 1, 2, 3. So there have been 9 to sell during that time. In this complex, a 2-bedroom recently sold for $415, and the ones we saw were both listed around the $400,000 mark as well. So as you can see, I would say, yeah, oceanfront for the most part are holding it. The big difference with oceanfront and with those second home condos is that people who own these types of properties usually are not they don't have all of their life savings in it. It's play money that they're using. So when people are selling them, they want to get a specific price. If they don't, they're going to hold it till they get that specific price a lot of times. As long as they can afford it, they're just going to hold on to it, keep coming, use it a little bit, enjoy, vacationing here and checking it out and having fun at the beach and then going back home. So people don't have to, on the oceanfront market, have to sell those as much. However, with some of the insurance things we've seen over the last few years, it has made some people have to make the transition into selling, for sure. I saw a question come in here. John wants to know, hello from Minnesota. Well, welcome in from Minnesota, or Minnesota, as they say. Sorry, I know my accents are really bad. I'm sorry, guys. It's a bad habit. Ask my wife; she'll tell you I'm horrible with it. But is it hard to rent or your house down there when you're not there? Good question. So it wouldn't be hard to rent it. The problem is that you can't rent it. A lot of your developments here in the area are going to have a homeowners association, and in those homeowners association rules on single family homes, it's going to state that it has to be a minimum of a 12-month lease. So, for example, most all of Carolina Forest is going to have that written into their homeowners rules that you have to do a 12-month lease. In no, in any development like in North Myrtle or Surfside or any of those areas, anywhere that's in a subdivision with an HOA, it's going to be that case. Now, if you have a home up in the North Myrtle Beach area or down in Garden City, you might be able to, but it's going to be very limited. Let me actually do this instead. Let me go back here to sharing, and we'll just do a search because this is probably the easiest way to kind of answer your question, John. So if we go in here and we're just going to build a search for an active, we're going to say that we want to have a detached home, and we're going to say that our max budget we want to spend, we'll just leave the budget out for now. We'll leave it out. But we're going to say we want at least 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and we're going to go down here and we're going to check in that it has to say short term rental allowed. Okay. So you can see right now in our MLS, it states that there are 147 homes that fit this criteria. Okay. So if we go in and look at this, you will see most all of this is going to be in some sort of a not in a subdivision. The ones that are a lot of times are just inaccurately put into the MLS. Okay. So if we go back here and let's just sort it by price a minute. And so you will see, well, this is in Marion and in Georgetown, so we don't want those. So let's go sort it by cities. These are in Conway. Conway's not going to do well on a short-term rental. These down here in Garden City probably would do well, but these are, as you can see, price point 920, 1.7, 1.3, 1.2, 1.1, 800, 1.5, 774. That's the deal, and then 3.5. So they're pretty expensive. If we go down here, then up or go up to Little River, there's this one which says it's supposed to be, but that house is not in a subdivision that's going to allow it. So you're not doing that one on a short-term rental. So we would then have to continue to look on some of these in Murrells Inlet. Once again, these are over $1 million, 800,000, type of thing. These that are in Myrtle Beach, this one in Isles of Bella Vita, that's just inaccurate because I know that subdivision says no. You could do this one in Ocean Lakes, but in Ocean Lakes, you do not own the dirt. So this one's not even accurately put in the system. You have a leased land here that you're paying to lease out in addition on that it doesn't even say. See right here, it tells you the yearly lease is $15,000 with payments of 7,400 in January and the other in July. You must pay to enter in. So as we go into North Myrtle Beach, you might find a house somewhere in the North Myrtle Beach area. Here's a house that's 690. Let's take a look at it. That's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house on Lewis Circle for 690. And it says that you'd be able to rent it out short term. So as you can see, there's just not a lot of options to do that anywhere in the area unless you're looking to spend close to $1 million on a house. I can tell you, as I have some clients that own some of those homes that are in the Surfside area, and they rent it out, that it does very, very well for them. It's probably similar to like this house here, 1.5 million. And let's see if they tell you. Nope, that one doesn't say anything about rentals. So let's look at another one. Here's another one. This one's on 10th Avenue South, 116B. So it's A and B. Basically, you have two parcels that share the lot. And I know they have one of these, and it rents for probably about 80 to 100,000 a year on them. So you do have some options, John, if you want to do it. That it can be done. Just know it's gonna be a little bit on the higher price point. But good question. So what other questions do you guys have tonight? I see there's about 15, 16 of you in the chat. Type your questions in, and let's make this a little more interesting than just me blabbering on about much of nothing, because I can do that for a long time. You can ask my wife; she will tell you I am good at talking. Um, Actually, what I'm going to do is I want to show you guys. I've talked about this in the past a little bit, but there is a new channel that I am launching here in the very, very near future. You can get a little sneak peek. Some of these videos, if you go out and search, you might be able to find them on the internet right now on YouTube. That I've started to create tours of the area. And so let me just, we'll click on this one here and show you a little snippet of this one. This is And so we're doing videos like this, which are gonna be kind of an overview of the whole community. They kinda show off a little bit of driving around it. And there's parts with me talking as well as some aerial shots showing off some of the area, talking about different things going on, some of the houses, showing off the amenities, all that kinda good stuff. Here we are in the amenities section. As you can see, this is Berkshire Forest. Great amenities here. They have this awesome lazy river, community pool, there's a playground, all kinds of stuff. So we're creating content like this, and then in addition to this, we're creating these as well, which are going to be strictly a driving tour. And so as you can see, this is just going to be driving around the neighborhood so you can get a really good idea. What does it look like driving through this neighborhood? And I narrate these as I go through to give you a really good idea of what does the development look like. Are there mature trees? What is the landscaping like? What is the style of the homes? And so I've got several of these in here. This one's Berkshire Forest. If I go in, I'll show you. I'll take you behind the scenes so you can see even a little bit more. Oops, I got to click on the right button. Let's go into the studio. And as you can see in here, we've got some more. Like this one is Waterway Palms, which I've got. And it's going to literally just be a driving around the neighborhood, showing off the different parts of it. So go around, keep an eye on it. If you want, I'm going to do a little special for all of you, quote unquote, a special for everybody tonight who is on the live stream. I'm going to copy this link and I will share it in right now. Now, don't go click on it right now and leave this live stream because, I don't want you leaving me. But you can go afterwards, click on this link, and you can check out all of these different tours that I've got. There's 4 of them in there right now. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. There's going to be a whole bunch of information coming there in the very, very near future. All right, I see some questions coming in. Let's go and take a look at those. Let me go back to here. Can I get a mortgage with a 1099 first-time home buyer? Yes, you can. So as a 1099, you're basically a self-employed person. Usually you either have to have, you're a salaried person maybe as well, or I'm a realtor. I'm 1099. I'm self-employed. If I don't sell houses, I don't make money. Remax doesn't pay me a salary, or I don't get a paycheck from them. I get a commission. Okay. So as a 1099, there is a little bit more steps to go through for it. But what I would suggest is I would go over here to, let me go to this. Erica Davis team with Guild Mortgage. And going to get this to hopefully cooperate today. Hopefully my internet's working right. It sometimes gets a little bit of issues. But go over here to ericadavisteam.com. It's Erica with Guild. She's been on the show before. We're probably going to have her back on the stream here in the very near future. Well, maybe we're going to get this to pull up. I don't know if it's going to today or not. Let's try it again. You can go in here, you can fill it out, and they will tell you what they will need to do it. As a 1099 employee, it's not working, so it's all right. Come back over here. I'll go back to this. As a 1099 employee, more than likely you're going to have probably 5% down for a down payment just to make things easier. A lot of your basic, some of your typical loan programs do not always apply just because of that. But you still can qualify in for some programs. And for those of you looking to buy, there are some really, really great programs that are out there right now. I have someone who just did a purchase of a townhouse, and she was able to get basically like $8,000 from the state to help with closing costs. And as long as she keeps the home for, I think it's like 7 or 8 years, she doesn't have to pay that money back. So it's a really cool program that's out there. But as a 1099 employee, you definitely can. There are options that are out there for sure. And if you want more information on it, since the website's not working right now, just do me a favor. Just um, go over to my website, jeremyblanton.com. Well, here we go. It's working now. I'm getting it. Hold on. All right. So if you go to Erica Davis team, it'll pop up and it'll show right here her stuff. And you can go in and you can click on the apply. Let's talk, all that kind of stuff. And you can see, do you want up to $5,000 towards your down payment? It'll go through telling you how to do all of this stuff with it. So check out Guild. They're really great to work with. All right, let's see. What other questions do we have here? Salt and Pepper wants to know, what is your favorite restaurant in Myrtle Beach? Ooh, good question. I've got lots of them. And my favorite right now, while I'm been a bachelor for the last week and a half while my wife and kids are in the Georgia mountains visiting her family. My favorite the last week and a half has been Miyabi Express near my office because it's good takeout. I can get hibachi, chicken bowls, steak bowls, shrimp bowls, all that kind of stuff, and take it home and eat it pretty quick. But when people I meet them in the office, I usually show this restaurant on the screen, and I'll pull it up here. Just give me a second. Here we go. And let's hide this. So this right here on the screen, this is, oops, it went away. Go back. No. Go back. There we go. Oops. Oh, what did I do? I'm clicking all kinds of buttons today. Sorry. There it is. All right. So this right here is my favorite thing in the restaurants. Clark's Seafood and Chop House. It is located, if we bring up a map here for a minute, or is there a map down at the bottom of the page? Nope, they don't have one. This is located up in Little River. So if we bring up the map and we come up here to the northern end, right in here where Little River and the marina sits, right in here is where Clark's Seafood sits. Right there, okay? This is one of my favorite things to eat in the entire restaurant. It is called the Filet Napoleon right here. It is a bed of Parmesan risotto with asparagus, a filet mignon, a crab cake. Now, I know somebody's on here watching from Maryland right now going, that's not a crab cake. I don't know what that is. That's not the way a crab cake's. I get it. It's their version of a crab cake. Okay, let's not get into a battle about crab cakes right now. Reduced cream sauce and a reduced vinaigrette over the top of it. It is absolutely phenomenal. If we bring up their dinner menu, take a look at it here. You will see it talks about it right in here. Here is the filet mignon, filet Napoleon. It's $46. They said it's a grilled filet served over Parmesan risotto and asparagus topped with Carolina crab cake, béarnaise, and balsamic reduction. It is fantastic. Now, I am a big ribeye steak eater myself, and normally that's what I eat when I go to a restaurant, right? First time I went on a date here with my wife, um, we had a friend who said, "Go check out Clark's. You'll really enjoy it. It's a great spot." We went to eat here, and my wife said, "Well, I'm going to get the filet Napoleon." I said, "Okay, babe, you get that." I ordered the ribeye, and my ribeye was good, but I looked at her filet, and she's like, "You want to taste this, don't you?" I said, "I do want to give that a little taste and see what it's like." And let's put it this way: I've never ordered ribeye again at this place. So filet Napoleon at Clark's, really, really great stuff. Near my office, there is another place that I really enjoy. It is called Sneaky Beagle. Here we go. This is the Sneaky Beagle here in Carolina Forest. Has kind of a little fun menu. Clark's is kind of the date night special occasion thing. This would be kind of more, let's just go have a regular meal out with the family. You can see here's their menu. And let's see, where's my zoom out? There it is. So you can see they have some tacos, they have sides, they have all kinds of sandwiches. I zoomed it out a little too much. Let's take in a little bit. There you go. And just all kinds of stuff. They have some really good wings. Their salads are really good as well. Another place that we really enjoy is called Hanley's. Hanley's Pub and Grub down at the other end of Carolina Forest. Um, Here's their menu. And sorry, you can't really see it too well because, well, it's not optimized for streaming. But they have a lot of great things here. They have a nice happy hour menu as well. Some really good stuff to eat there also. So those are some of my favorite spots around the area. If I want to have, a very special, just special night out, date night, going to celebrate my anniversary, my wife's birthday, something like that, just the two of us, I'm going to go here. This is probably the absolute best restaurant for service, food, everything of anywhere on the beach. Um, their stuff is delicious. It's not cheap. You're going to spend a lot of money, but it is worth it. Um, Delicious steaks, they're USDA prime cut. Everything is served a la carte. They're mashed potatoes. I don't know how they make them, but they're these cheese mashed potatoes that are amazing. There's just no other way to put it. So, those are some of my favorite spots to go and eat. So, hopefully, that answers your question. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? KM says, "Hi, Jeremy, New York resident with condo at 75th Avenue and North Ocean Boulevard." Okay, cool. Awesome. So 75th Avenue, you're probably there at the sand dunes, ocean dunes in that complex, would be my guess as to where your place is. Great spot. I used to have an office that I worked at right there on 76th Avenue. So I'm very familiar with that area. I spent a lot of time in there back in the day. John said, "Thank you." Let's see here. Rocco's come in. "Always love your personality, insight about anything North Myrtle Beach. Thanks, Jeremy. I'll be there one day in the future, Lord willing." Rocco, come on down. You can do it, buddy. We can make it to North Myrtle Beach. Anything North Myrtle Beach. So let's talk about some stuff in North Myrtle Beach. What's some stuff I enjoy doing up there? One of the things that is really cool, and I do this a lot when I'm up there, it's not really exciting, but we enjoy shopping at Aldi. And there's an Aldi in North Myrtle Beach. So whenever I'm up there showing property, I tell my wife I'm going to go shop there and get some stuff. The other thing that I really enjoy as well up in the northern end is there's a seafood market that is up on Sea Mountain Highway. And I can't think of the name of it right now. Give me a minute. Platts, that's right. So this is a great spot too. Up on the northern end, Platt Seafood, they have a giant fresh seafood counter where you can get all kinds of stuff. And it's fresh, delicious, amazing seafood. And it's really good prices usually on the stuff. And so we have done many seafood boils over the days from that area, that are really great. So Platts is up there, and yeah, we'll grab seafood up there. In fact, if I go up there this next few days, I might pick some up and have some seafood myself from there. We'll see. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Tim wants to know, are there any new homes being built in an area which require flood insurance? This would be a no go for me. Yes, I'm sure there are some areas that are going to be in a flood zone, for sure. The one thing, too, that I should say is this, Tim. All of Horry and Georgetown County is in some sort of a flood zone. The question is it in flood zone X or is it in flood zone AE? If you're in X, you are not required to have insurance. Now, our company policy at my office that I work at, their policy they want us to say to everyone is it's always a good idea to spend a little bit of money and have flood insurance for that extra layer of protection just in case. So it's if you don't reside in a flood zone AE, then it's not that expensive, maybe a couple $100 a year to add it to your policy. But if you are in those AE zones, it's going to get rather costly at times, unfortunately. So, sorry, my daughter's on my wife's account. Hi, Dad. It's me, Miriam. I love the podcast. That sounds totally like something my daughter would say, just how she would say it too. Hi, baby. I hope you're having fun in Georgia. I saw the pictures your mom sent earlier at the water park. Looked like y'all had a blast. All right. What else do we have here? Mark is saying, I'm looking in the Conway area with places with a quarter acre plus lots over 1,200 square foot house. What are developments or areas you would recommend for an under 350 budget? Okay, that's a good question, Mark. So there are definitely some areas, and let's go back here to the map a minute and bring this in. So a lot of it's going to depend on which section of Conway you want to be in. And let's go back here and show this again. We're going to hide your questions so that we can see the whole map. A lot of it's going to depend on what area and how close you want to get to the beach. Oh, Tim says I didn't answer. Oh, sorry, Tim. We'll get back to it. I promise. I'm gonna answer some more of it here in a minute. Um, yeah, we'll get back to it. Sorry. Um, so Conway, let's talk about Conway a second. So parts of Conway that are going to be here off of Highway 90, prices might be a little bit higher for the home than those that are over here in this section of it. So if we go, and these are some developments that are just in my off the top of my head, but if I go in here and do a search of homes for sale, and we want to be in a development called Harvest Ridge. This is a D.R. Horton community out in Conway, where you can see the most expensive home is $349. So we're in under that 350 budget, but most of them are going to be 310 to under 300. But if we go and we look at this, and let's just click on this one here, that says is 1,500 square feet. That's a resale house right now. Let's look for one that's a new build. Here's a new build. That's a 2-story. These are some other 2 stories that are in there. Maybe you want to say I want on a 1-story, so let's find one of those. These are Sullivan's, which are going to be a little bit on the smaller side, and the Helena's. But here is a house that is 1,475 heated square feet. It is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and it's not quite the quarter acre. It's going to be 0.18, so it's about a fifth of an acre. But the way these houses are designed, the lots are a little bit wider, so you have a little bit more space. And from time to time, you will find a lot in here that's going to be larger in size. Here's one that's on that 0.25. for 264 in Conway, okay, in Harvest Ridge. Now you can also go over, and I just looked at some houses today in this development that were very, very nice, nice large lots, and they were 320. I believe this is the one I looked at today. It was. This house is on just under a quarter of an acre. It's 0.23 for 320,000, and this house is 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,775 square feet. If you want to know more about it, Mark, shoot me an email to info@jeremyblanton.com, and we can discuss it in more detail. Or if you want to book a call and talk about it, go over to jeremyblanton.com and we can talk about it more. Okay, so that's two right off the top of my head. There definitely are some other options out there in the Conway area. The other section that I would maybe consider is Longs, South Carolina. Long, Longs. Longs. I know I say it really weird. That would be another good option. All right, let's go back here now to Tim's question. Are there new homes being built in an area which require flood insurance? I'm sure there are a few out there. Most of your developments, though, are not. I know for a fact one of the developments that used to be considered, and this is once again, I sold a house here last year. It's called the Forest at Black Bear. This was considered flood zone AE up in the northern end of the beach in Longs, Longs. And these houses were considered flood zone AE. But when they started to build the section in the front that was AE, they brought in truckloads of dirt to raise the actual elevation and had the whole area new flood zone certification done to rezone it as X so that it would no longer be in that flooding area. I know there were some homes that were being built down by Market Common. And the problem with the question, Tim, is this, is that the flood zone maps are continually changing and altering all the time. And so, like, for example, down in Market Common, D.R. Horton was building down there in an area called Meridian, and it was X. But then halfway through the development, they went back through and rezoned everything, and it all became AE then as well. So it's kind of a case by case thing where we have to kind of look at each development. Most of your bigger name builders are not going to buy area where the dirt's going to be in flood zones because they're not going to spend the extra money to do it. Or if it's just a small section that they have to adjust, they will sometimes do it. But they're not going to take on a development where it could potentially flood, at least your bigger name builders. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, do me a favor, Tim. Go over to jeremyblanton.com. I know I've said it now a couple times. I'm like a broken record. But go over here to jeremyblanton.com. Click one of these days and book a call with me. And it's real easy to do. So say you want to talk to me on the 10th. I have some time available at 3 and 3:30. Maybe you say, hey, well, let's do the 11th. Is there anything more? There's more options there. But go ahead in there, book a call, and we can discuss it in more detail and more specifics. So, all right. Okay. Let's see here. KM says, is there a handyman or service you would recommend for Myrtle Beach? Yes, there is a gentleman. If you shoot me an email and ask for the handyman, I can get you hooked up with him. His name is Farrell. And I don't think, let me see if they have a website these days. I don't think they do. Problem is I don't remember the name of his. I'd have to do some research to find what their website would be. But shoot me an email and I can text you, get you hooked up with him in an email, or send a phone number with that, and I can text his information for a handyman. He's really good. Salt and Pepper says, thank you, Jeremy. Love your videos. Awesome. Tim, hopefully I answered your question. I'm sorry. I kind of got distracted there. It was my daughter. I'm blaming it all on my daughter. I'm totally down that route. Yeah. So what other questions do you guys have for me that I can help answer tonight? What are some other things you would like to know more about? What areas are you thinking about moving? How soon are you thinking about making a move to the beach, or do you already own a house here? I saw a couple people who've joined in tonight. They already own that condo here in the area. But what can I answer for you? What are some other things that you want to know some more about? And while you're typing those out, I'm going to pull this up. I want to show this website that I found that I think has some really interesting information for you all. And it is called bestplaces.net. And it kind of breaks down the cost of living in different parts of the country. And so when you look at Myrtle Beach, we're 6.5% below the average of the United States. Now, we're higher than other parts of South Carolina, which, that happens. We're at the coast. Things are more expensive, as I said before, closer you get to the ocean. Now, it has not updated, obviously, in this article, but as you can see here, it's saying the typical home costs 335. It's pretty close to. We went back to. Do I still have the stats open? I do. Let's go back here to single family homes and look at it. And actually, single family is now at 372. If we take all properties for average sales price, it's 332. So it's pretty close on to what that article's saying right now. But where was it? Oh, nope, that's not it. Where was it? Back here it was. And so it kind of goes through talking about the different things. It talks about where do we stand with grocery, with health, with housing scores, medium income, medium home costs, not income, home costs, the utilities, transportation, other things throughout the area. As you can see, your average rents by bedroom size. This is kind of an interesting thing. So we're a little bit below. Myrtle Beach is at $930 for a studio apartment. Two bedrooms at 1,090. A three bedrooms at 1,400 and a four bedrooms at 1,600. These are for apartments, so not a lot of space in an apartment. Very interesting. So let's see here. Tim then said, with rezoning happening all the time, then a homeowner may be surprised with an unexpected requirement flood insurance policy. You could. You just have to kind of see where it is. If you're on the border of an area that is flood zone AE, it is a potential that in time you could be lumped in to that. There was, I try not to understand the flood zone maps for our area because they just don't make sense half the time. They're just horribly done. Unfortunately, I hate to say it. But if I go and I pull it up here, and let's just pull up the FEMA map for our area. Here we go. Hide this. And so if we go in here and we look at the Horry County flood maps. Oh, that's probably not what I wanted. I want to go to the other link. Let's go back here a minute. The FEMA flood maps. So you can put in an address of a property and try to understand it. So I don't know. We'll put in my office address, 186 Fresh Drive. Let's see if it pulls it up. So here it is. It doesn't really show much. You have to go through. Like I said, I don't quite understand this, so half the time I don't use it because it doesn't do well. But if for say, let me go back here a minute. Let's try this one. Maybe this will take. This is one I wanted to have, I believe. Okay. So let's say we're looking in here, and so you can see here's some areas here that looks like it's starting to be in a flood zone. Okay. Right. Might be flooding in this area. And the map half the time doesn't even load properly. That's where the problem comes in. So you can see here it is where there's this section that's in purple that could be considered flood zones, right? Maybe. I'd have to go through how this one works. It's been a while since I looked at it. But say this is flood zone right here, right? And my house sits right here. And oh, hey, sorry, it's going crazy. Right in this area. Then I might be a little concerned that in time they make all of this flood through here. So it can change from time to time, Tim. Um, the key is finding an area that's in X um, and not anywhere near the AEs. So hopefully that answers your question. John's coming in. John says, joined late. Any new must try restaurants. We did talk about that a couple minutes ago. Um, one that is newer to the area that I have not yet tried out. It's called Swig and Swine. Let's bring this up. So this is a new barbecue joint in downtown Myrtle Beach. I have heard it's supposed to be amazing. Um, I don't eat a lot of barbecue out because I cook my own. I'm a little bit of a snob, I guess, on it. But this place is supposed to be pretty good here in the Myrtle Beach area. They have a lot of cool stuff. Another one, there is a new pizza in Market Common that my friend was telling me about yesterday. Is it maybe this one? Let's see here. Yeah, I think it's this one here. I think it's called Geo's. This place is supposed to be delicious. Let's go to their website and see. Yep, this would be the one, I believe. It's supposed to be a really really good spot for pizza. Have to go try it out one of these days. I have not. So those are two new spots right now. I'm trying to think of some other new things that may have come in. Some of my other favorites we talked about earlier was Clark's Seafood and Chop House up on the northern end of the beach. We talked about Handley's in Carolina Forest. It's a pub and grub, really good spot where the locals like to go. We locals, for the most part, like to eat on the west side of the waterway. So here's your waterway running down through. We like to eat in areas over here. Why? It's where all the tourists are not. Okay. So that's where you want to go to eat for the most point. Tim came in and asked, is Terry an expert? Yes, she is. Good point. We insure advocates. There it is. I would ask all my questions to this lady right here with weinsuregroup.com. Terry Branson is her name. Here is her phone number where you can call them, 843-491-6990. They can go through and get you quotes and go over all of that stuff with you for sure. Terry definitely knows any and everything that you may want to know in regards to insurance for sure. So yeah, definitely reach out to her. All right. So what other questions do you guys have tonight for me? Any other things burning on your minds that you want to know some more about? If so, put them in the comments section. We are a little bit over an hour right now, so I'll probably, if I don't get some more questions coming in here in the next few minutes, probably just end this one for the night. I hope everybody does have a really, really good 4th of July. What are your plans to do is a big question of mine. What are your plans for the 4th? Are you coming down to the beach? Are you here in town right now? Are you doing a cookout at your house? What are your traditions for 4th? I know growing up in PA, we did not really ever do a lot of fireworks because they were not legal. Down here in the South, they are. And so people set them off everywhere, which means I will probably be home with my dogs, trying to calm them down so they're not going crazy all night long. Let me see here. What other items did I want to talk about tonight? Oh, this was a good graphic. Let me show this one a while you're typing in those final questions. Here is a cool site that I found that was talking about property taxes and which sites have the most, which sites have the most affordable, which sites have the highest property taxes. Surprise, surprise. New Jersey, number one. Number two, Illinois. Number three, Connecticut, New Hampshire, and Texas. Okay, so yeah, I spoke to a client who's moving here from Ohio. His taxes are over $13,000 a year. We talked about buying a house down here, and his taxes would probably be around $1,200 to $1,300 for the year. He's paying that per month right now. Okay. So if we go down here and we see states ranked by property taxes, you can see right here at number 6, South Carolina sits right there. Now, Hawaii, yeah, Hawaii is one of the cheapest, but the cost of living there is super, super expensive. So, and the houses are also ridiculously expensive. Be prepared to spend 7 figures in that area. So, here in our area, you can definitely find a great home and get that tax benefits for sure. And like I said, if it's your primary residence, their taxes are going to be $1,200 to $1,500 a year. If they buy it and keep it as a second home, it'll probably be around $3,000 to $3,500 for the year. So let's see, what else? Did I have anything else in here to show you all tonight? I think that's pretty much it. So if nobody else has any questions, I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. On us joining me, I should say, on the stream. Hopefully, I answered some of your questions. Hopefully, you're finding some value in the content that we talked about tonight. For those of you that joined in late, let me kind of summarize some of what we talked about at the beginning. Is if it is an affordable thing to buy a house, can I get a good house? Can I find a deal? And oh, I got to share that story. I almost forgot one of the stories I wanted to share tonight. So I have a client right now who's moving here, and they decided they wanted to purchase a resale home, and we found a great home. The asking price on this house, some of the sellers right now are getting a little bit on edge. They're a little antsy and want to get things sold, and so they're starting to give a little bit of deals on some resales as well, if they can afford it. Now, this one, the lady had purchased the house, 12 years ago, 15 years ago. So she had a ton of equity in the home. She didn't really have much of a mortgage left on it. And so she had a lot of space to move on the price. And she wants it gone because she's getting married and she doesn't want to carry this house plus the one of her husband she's living in now, right? So I had clients that were interested in purchasing the home. Now the home needs some work in it. It needs some paint, needs some flooring, some appliances, some screens. The screen porch, every screen on it was basically had a hole in it. So it's all going to have to be redone basically. But the house is located in Carolina Forest. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Two-story, real nice 2-story house with a fenced-in backyard. The asking price was $315,000. Now, I just saw one sell that was real simple, exact same floor plan as this house in good shape, and it sold for 312. So basically, we said, listen, we're going to need to drop probably $20,000 into the house to repaint, recarpet, do all of these things that need to be done. So we were able to negotiate this home down to $295,000, $293,000. So we got close to 20,000 or maybe even a little bit more than that off of the price of the house. So resales right now are starting to become something to maybe look at again, because if it's in decent shape and you don't mind doing a little bit of work, you might be able to find a pretty decent deal out there in the resale market these days. There's definitely some deals out there to be had for sure. So if you're thinking about it, take that into mind as well as something that you might want to look at again. Now, if you say, hey, I just want to be able to move in and not have to deal with it, totally get that too. We can find you those deals, some of them still out there in the new construction world. As I shared a little bit earlier, DR Horton, one of the nation's largest builders, does have a lot of incentives right now out there. Homes in the 5.99 interest rate. Okay. So that's going to save you $40,000 over the life of a loan on a mortgage payment. Okay. That's a lot of money. Some of them, I had one recently. It was going to be a difference in price and going with the one that was on the builder finance versus not. It was a $490,000 house, somewhere around there. It's going to cost the people a difference of close to $140,000 over the life of the loan. They ended up saying, we'll take the one on the water instead of the one on the woods because that's going to save us that much money over the time. We definitely want that one instead. So, there's definitely some deals that are out there. In addition, right now to the buying down the interest rate, they're giving you $10,000 towards closing costs. That's going to cover all the expenses of doing a mortgage. In addition, you're also going to get the lower rate, $10,000. If it's in some other developments, you might be able to add in a screened porch or window blinds or gutters. I know gutters. Those of you watching from the Northeast, I get it. Houses up there have gutters. Why don't they put them on? It should just be something standard they do. I agree, but the builders don't. But we can negotiate that in on some of the developments as well. And you can expect to probably get five to $7,000 off of the asking price. So we can definitely get you some really good deals right now on some of these new construction homes. Um, the key is having somebody to work with you. If you're thinking about buying a home, even if it's new construction, you want to hire somebody to help you. I'd love to be the person to help you buy that home. I've been doing real estate now, and I don't talk about my experience very often here, but I should probably do that a little more often so that people know I am a full time realtor. I do this each and every day. I have now been in the real estate industry since September of 2001. I started 5 days before 9/11. Great time to get in real estate. But I am coming up on year 24 of doing this. Okay. I've got the experience, I've got the know-how, I've got the insider knowledge on where the developments where we can find you some pretty nice houses with some pretty decent deals these days. In addition to that, you also get my knowledge when it comes time for your walkthroughs. I'm going to be there doing the punch list with you, be there on the day of final walkthrough, all of that stuff to help you along the way. So if you're thinking about buying a house, feel free to reach out to me. My information is down below. As I shared earlier, you can go over here to my website and let me pull it up again to show everybody. If you want, you can go here to jeremyblanton.com and it connects straight to my calendar. And so if you want to book a call, you can click in and say, hey, maybe you want to talk to me on the 9th. And it'll show you on the 9th right now. I've got 2 to 3:30 available. Or maybe you say, I want to talk to you on the 10th. Well, I only have a couple slots available there anymore. But on Friday that week, I've got a bunch open right now. So go over there to Jeremy Blanton, book that call. We can discuss your personal needs and specific needs of moving to the area, finding a house for you, and purchasing here in the area. And as always, guys, I appreciate you joining in tonight to the stream. If you have any other questions, book a call, shoot me an email to info@jeremyblanton.com. I'm here to help you however I can. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, get the bell on, and I'll catch you in the next one. See y'all.